What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I have a very special guest, Luis Cuba Arias. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Real good. Well, I just want to take some of your time up, ask some questions so the fans can get a little bit more information about you and what you bring to the table.
Okay.
So we'll jump right in. You're originally from Wisconsin. You're currently training in Vegas. What's that like going from one climate to another?
It was exciting. It's exciting. It's definitely different. The transition at first, was a little tough. But I got the ball rolling now, so it was good. But I moved to Vegas for a purpose. I felt like I needed to take my boxing and take my training to the next level. So once I decided, when I was younger that I wanted to become a professional, I already knew and had it installed in my mind that I was going to move to Vegas. So it's been good. It's been good. If it hadn't been for my move to Las Vegas, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now. So it's just a blessing, to be able to, move to a bigger city, to following your dreams, and for you to actually connect with some people and to get things rolling for yourself and for your career.
Yeah, definitely. All right. You've sparred with some pretty good names. You sparred with Chad Dawson, stablemate Ishe Smith, and the big boss himself, Floyd Mayweather. What were those experiences like?
Man, like I said, it was another learning experience, and just another blessing. I was able to spar, 3 world champions without even having a professional fight. So it was definitely good for me. It worked for the best. I was able to learn so much from guys, and just being around those guys, watching them train. But it's one thing, but sharing the ring with them and learning the actual boxing inside the ring is just completely different, and it just helps my game. It's gonna help me. It's gonna help me with my transition to the pros. Like, my transition to the pros has been very comfortable and very good for me. I haven't had any problems. The professional game is more of my type of style and more my way of fighting anyway. So sparring and working with those pros and those high caliber of professionals just made my transition and is making my game that much better.
Okay, definitely. And I got to put you on the spot. Speaking of Chad Dawson, we all know that he just took a shocking loss, first round KO to Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah.
You think you'll be able to bounce back from that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was with, me and Chad had the same trainer, so I wasn't training with him, but it was a couple things we were doing together, and Chad was in great shape, and that's the reason he was able to even get up from that shot. Boxing is boxing. Things happen. It was way too early in the fight for anyone to be able to say anything about either fighter. I felt like Chad came out there he was trying to catch his rhythm, and he just got caught, and with a puncher like Stevenson, those type of things happen. People got hit with that same shot and been stretched, have been carried out the ring. But Chad was in great shape, which is why he was able to get up. Now you could argue that, him being a world champion, he would have knew how to survive, but too much of a gamble, so we'll never know. But I think Chad will be able to bounce back. It was a good shot. It was just a good shot. It would have put anybody down, and he has a record to prove it that he's a lethal puncher. Now, when they're gonna have a rematch, and there's a rematch clause, and I think Chad will take a fight before, and then I think he'll be back to being a big-time world champion.
So you're no stranger to fighting on big cards. In your young professional career, you fought on the Abner Maris Moreno card, and most recently on the Mayweather card. So what are those experiences like? Just first turning pro, being a fresh professional, and fighting on those big events.
Yeah, like I said, it's a blessing, and it's helpful for me in my career. I'm able to get a lot more exposure because of the people that I have behind me. I'm under the label of arguably the greatest fighter ever. He's clearly running boxing right now. So to have such a powerful man behind me, it helps me. It's gonna help me move a lot more. It's gonna help me move a lot more quickly, and it's gonna help me get a lot more exposure right away. So I won't have to be fighting 10, 15, lesser opponents and fighting less rounds. I'll be able to move quickly. Like I said, this will be my 6th fight in 6 or 7 months. I want to put up at least 9 this year. By the end of this year, by early 2014, I want to be close to 10-0. This will be my last 6-rounder. I plan on going 8 rounds in September. and then hopefully fighting 10 rounds early next year as well. So fighting on these big cards just gives me a lot of exposure. It gives me a lot of eyes to watch. It'll be, even though I've been on TV several times, but it's mostly about the media. The media are getting to write about me. My name is starting to circulate in the boxing community, which will make it easier for me to start, getting those bigger fights and moving quickly. So, like I said, it's a blessing and it's good, and it's something that I really wanted, because that way I don't have to move slow. Like other fighters, when they sign to bigger promotional companies, they got to move slow. They got to put up a bunch of 4-rounders and a bunch of 6-rounders, and I'm fortunate enough not to have to do that right now because of the people that I have behind me and the type of cards that I'm fighting on. So it'll be better for me, and I want to move quickly, and it is just gonna help me get to that title much sooner than necessary.
Yeah, definitely. And then one thing I noticed about your fighting style, you have a really exciting fighting style, not necessarily the quote-unquote Cuban style. We have a lot of Cuban stars. You're a Cuban and Nicaraguan. We got stars like Edeslani Laura, Rigondeaux, and obviously Gamboa. What do you think of their style, and what do you feel you bring to the table that's different than those guys?
The difference is I'm Cuban. My father is a Cuban, but I was born, and raised here in America. So I have more of an American type style of boxing. Those guys, those 3 guys, they were all brought up in that Cuban amateur system. So they have had the same type of training, the same type of coaches. They've been in the same type of program for a certain amount of time. So you can see a lot of similarities in them. I'm more different of a fighter. I like to bring the fight to somebody. I like taking the fight to my opponents. I like wearing my opponent down with my punches more than with my legs. I feel like they're more boxers, and they're boxer punches. Like I'm a boxer puncher, but I'm more aggressive with it. I like sitting there and banging sometimes, which is not always good, but I like sitting there and trading punches and throwing some hard shots and trying to hurt my opponent,
Yeah.
And that's just what I just bring to the table. I'm gonna bring more aggressiveness. I'm gonna be a fan favorite, and I'm gonna be an exciting fighter because I always come to fight. I have the same type of mentality. I've been having the same type of mentality when I stepped in the ring since even in the amateurs. And it's going for the knockout. It's going for the knockout, finding the knockout in different ways. And my way really is wearing people down, throwing a lot of shots, throwing a lot of body shots, trying to place my shots, So that's really the difference between me and them. Is just I was just born, You could tell my boxing that was taught to me was different than them because they went to school and stuff in Cuba, and the way they handle their fighters is different than the way we handle ours in America. But like I said, which is why my style is suitable for the pros, because I come to hurt people. I come to hurt people.
All
Even
right.
in the amateurs, I was coming to hurt people.
Real good answer. So, what's the boxing scene like in Milwaukee?
It's cool. It's cool. It's small. Obviously, it's not big. It's not a huge market. It's not a huge city. So, but I had fantastic coaches who worked with me, a lot, and they helped me, come to where I am. Like if it wasn't for Milwaukee, my basis as a fighter wouldn't be what it is. That's where I learned. That's where I learned the basics, and I learned everything was back home. Was with all my trainers back home. But I took it to the next level and stepped it up when I came to Vegas.
Gotcha.
Because the amateur game and the professional games are 2 different things. Although having a great amateur background and being a great amateur is always helpful, but there's more to than just being a great amateur. You gotta take your talents and take your work to the next level. So I love my city, and I always go back, and I always show love.
Kind of have to branch out.
Boxing, when you just gotta branch out. You gotta branch out, and you gotta open some windows and open stuff elsewhere and take your stuff. In order to take things to the next level, you gotta take yourself where all the next level things are at.
Yep, I agree with that. And yesterday we had some exciting news. Floyd Mayweather, Saul Canelo Alvarez, they met face to face with Showtime. What are your early thoughts on the fight? I think it's a great fight. I want to know what you think of this fight.
I think it's gonna be a great fight as well. I feel like they pulled the trigger a little too early on Canelo, but he's proven himself to be a great fighter he's proven himself so far. He fought a good fight with Austin Chow, and But like I said, who is out there for Mayweather to fight? It's really, who's left, So I feel like it's more of a big business move than a big boxing move. It's still going to be a great fight because I know Canelo's going to come to fight. He's going to be 100% confident. He's been calling out Floyd. So we're going to see what's going to happen. But in terms of a prediction, I see he's going to go in there. He's going to realize how big the pay-per-view life is, how big, fighting for Floyd Mayweather is going to be. Once he gets to the ring, he's going to try to start thinking with Floyd, and that's going to be his mistake. He's going to try to outthink, the greatest thinker.
What are your early thoughts on Paulie Malignaggi versus Adrian Broner coming up next week?
I think Adrian Broner's going to do his thing. Obviously, him moving up in weight class, they picked the perfect guy at 147 for him. I feel like he's going to be too. I mean, he was a big 140 pounder. He's a big 135 pounder. And I've known Adrian since the amateurs, and he's always been big, broad shoulders, strong guy. So I feel like moving up in a weight is not going to be a problem. I think he's going to be quick, too fast, and too strong, and his youth is going to show. Probably going to come to fight though. There's been a lot of trash talking. You got to come to fight with all that trash talking. But I just see too much overall skills on Adrian's side for him to lose the fight. And from my hear is he's been focused. He's been focused in camp. He's been working hard. He looks in shape. So I see if it goes all the way, which I don't think it would, I'll see Adrian Broner winning. But if not, I see him getting him out of there in the 8th round, around there.
Okay. And you're friends with Terrence Crawford. I thought he had a spectacular performance last week on the Mikey Garcia undercard. What'd you think of his performance?
Yeah, I've known Terrence too from the amateurs as well. We were in the same region, Wisconsin, Nebraska, those smaller states. We were all in the same region. So I've been watching him since I was real young, and he's been looking spectacular since he was young, and he's still looking spectacular. He's grown a lot. He's shown excellent boxing abilities, which he's always had. He's always had a fantastic jab. I used to always clown with him when I was little. I used to tell him my jab was better, but right now he's just displaying, beautiful boxing. He's using his legs, he's boxing, he's using his speed, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing, and he's finally getting on that limelight. I feel like he should have been up there because he's always had that ability. He took a gamble. He took a gamble with that Prescott fight. He got called with a couple weeks' notice, and that's what he did. He did what he had to do to get in that and to get into the spotlight. And now he's taking full advantage of it, and he's putting on excellent performances. He's coming to fight. He's using his boxing, but he's boxing but being exciting at the same time. So I'm happy for him. I feel like he'll be a world champion soon. And I'm looking forward to seeing his next couple fights. I'll definitely be tuning in.
Perfect. And since you have a younger professional career, what can fans expect from you going forward? You said you want to get active and have a couple of fights. So what can we expect from you?
Like I said, you can expect me at least to be close to 10-0 by the end, if not early next year. Be fighting already 8 to 10 rounds. Giving my style. I feel like I'm very marketable. I feel like I'm gonna be an excellent TV fighter because I come to fight. So expect a young kid who's just hungry and who's gonna come to fight every time. I don't know how to fight back. I mean, I know how to fight backers, but I don't want to fight backers. I like bringing the fight to him. So you can always expect an exciting fight from me. And if it was up to me, you can expect a knockout every time, or at least expect someone to go for the knockout every time. But at the same time, I just want to keep winning. I want to keep winning, and I want to do something that's unheard of. I want to be fighting. I want to be fighting for a title within 15 fights. 10 to 15 fights. And I have a powerful team behind me. So all I got to do is just keep winning. I'm gonna keep winning, keep putting on these performances, and I plan on doing some incredible things in the boxing game.
Perfect. And do you have any special messages for Spanish-speaking viewers?
No, para toda la gente latina, mi nombre es Luis Arias. Hay otro latino que le gusta pelear y estoy listo para enseñarle al mundo que soy un buen boxeador y que voy a estar, que siempre vengo a pelear y enseñarle todo el talento que yo tengo. Y un día yo será campeón mundial, so no se le olviden el nombre, Luis Arias.
All right. And where can fans follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Luis Cuba Arias, all one word, and then Instagram the same thing, and then you can follow me on Facebook as well as Luis Cuba Arias as well. Just down in their spaces, though.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for all your time. We look for big things in the future from you, and we'll definitely be in touch.
All right, thanks for the opportunity to talk to you guys, and I appreciate the exposure. And we'll definitely keep in touch, and hopefully next time we have an interview, I'll be 8-0 with some more knockouts. Not, a couple more knockouts under the belt.
All right, definitely.